Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Office of the Information of Privacy Commissioner has now released 3 scathing reports on the government openness and transparency within the last 2 months. Yet this government has not seen itself as the main problem within the FOIP process. When I asked the minister in December with the government's practice of involving lawyers from start to finish in order to invoke solicitor-client privilege, the minister from Service Alberta said the allegations were absolutely absurd. Does the minister still believe this is absurd, or is she starting to see that we were right all along?
Minister of Justice.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and to the member for the question. It is true that the Information Privacy Commissioner recently released a report into actions of the previous government. They were critical of some of the process going on during that time, Mr. Speaker. It is certainly the case that there were some concerns about the presence of counsel in some of those meetings. That process was set up under the previous government. But, Mr. Speaker, going forward, we absolutely will examine it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the government argues justice lawyers are only used to decide legal privilege in freedom of information requests, and given that the Privacy Commissioner's April investigation report contradicts that by showing a government lawyer counseling a FOIP coordinator is enough to invoke legal privilege to block information requests, will the minister admit that the government is using the presence of lawyers to be able to invoke privilege whenever the government is concerned about the records it is about to release?
Good question. Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. It was the case that when we took government, we felt that the way in which legal privilege was claimed was overly protective of the government. Therefore, last year, Mr. Speaker, I gave instructions to the lawyers throughout government to only claim legal privilege when it was actually necessary, and to sort of walk that back a little bit, because, Mr. Speaker, this government absolutely has an interest in ensuring transparency.
Thank you, Minister. Given that the Minister of Service Alberta has insisted several times that the presence of government lawyers is not being abused, and given that I will table a memo from Service Alberta that states counsel from the Justice and Solicitor General's Central Legal Services will be in attendance when the policy decision is finalized, end quote, to the Minister, why do you continue to deny the excess role that government lawyers play in so-called freedom of information when your own Deputy Minister signed the memo to the contrary? Minister of Justice, Minister of Service Alberta.
Good question. Minister of Service Alberta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, certainly I have no certainty of...
There may be an acceptance of heckling in the House, but there will be no booing, and also remarking upon the speaking style of any member. So please contain it. Honourable Minister.
Again, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am not sure what memo the honourable member is referring to. I'm happy to review it, and happy to review same with my department and my deputy minister. Certainly there are memos that are transported between individuals that not everything goes through the minister, and so I'm very happy to look into the matter and follow up with the member. Thank you.
Thank you.